All right, we are live. This is my first video, so bear with me. We're going to be talking about the Joker. Just straight up, before I get started, this will be spoiler because I'm not going to filter anything I thought about it. So you've been warned. Now, first I want to say, formulate your own opinions. Go see the movie if that's what you want to do. Great. Now on to my review. I absolutely hated this movie. Um, they promised me the Joker, and I got the story of Arthur Fleck. Um, they put it as an origin story for the Joker, and I don't. It's not that criteria. Now you do get an origin story of Arthur Fleck and what he goes through. Um, I know it's been a while. I actually saw it opening night, I think it was. So I watched it a while back, but I've spent the time trying to figure out what others see in it because I keep seeing everybody rave, oh, it's a masterpiece. No, not even by any standards is this a masterpiece. Then I hear stuff that I really hate, which is, oh, it doesn't have to follow the comics. Since when is that a rule now? If other comic movies don't follow the comics, everybody's on people's asses. Now you're going to be on people's asses because, oh my God, it doesn't have to follow the comics. You're doing a movie about a comic book character, and other than the fact that they keep throwing it in your face, that, by the way, hey, did you know that we're in Gotham? Did you know that Thomas Wayne is in this? Oh, there's Bruce. Thomas Wayne, Gotham, Arkham. And it's all over the place. Like every 5 minutes, if you forgot where you are, you either see a sign right in the middle or it gets mentioned on a TV or whatever. So it's like, stop throwing it in her face. I get it. This is a Joker movie. And it's not the Joker. It is Joker. And if you watch others' reviews, they make sure never to say the. Leading up to this movie, they talked about the fact that um, it wasn't going to be based in comics. That's them saving their own asses. And then people just jumped on board. I had people before the first trailer, before that teaser where you see him go from Arthur to what this movie's Joker is supposed to be, people automatically said, oh, this is going to be a fantastic movie. Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix, there's no way this movie could be bad. Telling you you're wrong, but okay. But then I get told, oh, you went in it expecting it to be bad, so there's no way it could have changed your mind. That's a complete and utter lie. There's plenty of movies and movie franchises out there that I dogged for years, and then I finally gave them a chance, and I liked them. Now, this movie is slowly paced, which maybe that's the one thing. Maybe I don't like slow paced movies. Maybe that's just it. I don't care. But it's so slowly paced. I was like falling asleep during the first half. And I'm not really falling asleep because I have insomnia, but like constantly yawning, like to the point where water was in my eyes. I was yawning so much. I was bored out of my mind. Then as it goes through, I'm sure everybody has seen other reviews and they go, oh, well, it's so disturbing. What's disturbing about it? There's not one thing in this that I would classify as disturbing. He kills people, okay? Disturbing is if he tortured them or killed them in a brutal way, and there's only one brutal kill in this entire movie. Just one. And there's actually only 5 kills done by Joker. That's it. Yeah. And then a 6th and 7th, we'll get to that one in a minute, where it's like, okay, so 7 people altogether and 1 off screen. So 8 people altogether died. 8 people. That's it. So only one of them died brutally. So I'm trying to figure out what's disturbing about this movie. I didn't feel disturbed at all. And I actually watched a movie franchise just a couple nights ago that one I dogged for years. I said nothing but bad things about it. I destroyed it every time somebody brought it up. I just fucking blew it off, told them that it was so stupid and blah 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 blah. And now it's one that I watch every few months, especially during Halloween because it's actually pretty brutal. And even knowing every single kill in that movie franchise, I still looked away. I saw one of the kills happening, and I'm like, okay, don't really want to watch that. That's disturbing. And what franchise am I talking about? The Saw franchise. I dogged that for years, all the way up until last year when I watched it. And I just watched the first one, and then I was hooked, and I watched every single one after that. And I think it's a great movie. The story itself is good. So that tells you I went all the way up till last year saying it was a shit series, and now I'm saying it's not. Um, so this movie going into it, I wanted this movie so much. When they announced it, I was like, fuck yeah, this is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see this. Because I actually do love the Joker. Batman was my comic book cartoon series. um, I mean, I've read a lot of the different comic stuff, but mostly I'm a very visual guy, which comics work for that. But, you know, cartoon series and movies has been the majority of what I've seen with these characters. And I'll tell you flat out, if you're expecting anything from the comics, anything from Batman itself, don't watch the movie. Because this has nothing to do with Batman. This has nothing to do with the comics. This has nothing to do with anything. This is one man finally, after getting the whole world against him, he finally steps up. And does he really step up? No. At the beginning of the movie, you find out that Arthur Fleck suffers from a condition, which I'll get to that in a minute. But he's seeing a therapist, which you see in the trailers. And so he's already crazy. So did he descend into madness? No. It was all there beforehand. He even states at the beginning, because the therapist asks him, or the social worker, there's a therapist at the end that looks almost identical to the social worker, but they're two different people. I think they had the same haircut, wore the same style of clothes, was in the same style of office, yet two different people. But she asked him, when was the last time that you felt happy or something like that? And he goes, when I was in the asylum. Huh, really? So you're already crazy. So there's no descent into madness. He's already insane, which, again, that's not in the comics. Joker has been shown to be very sane in the comics. And actually, there was a meme that was on my Facebook on this day that went through all the villains in Batman, the Dark Knight trilogy. And it's like, I did it for this. I did it for this. I did it for this. And then it gets to the Joker and said, I did it because I wanted to. And see, that's the first part that I don't like. He did it for a reason. So you're disturbed by a guy who was getting beat up by three guys in a subway, and he has a gun on him, and he shot the three. That's not disturbing. In fact, let me go through all the movies, and we'll figure out which movies have almost the exact same scenario, which is another motif in this entire movie, because everybody goes, oh, it's like Raging Bull and Taxi Driver. Or Raging Bull? I don't know, two De Niro films. No, King of Comedy, that's it. Why did I say Raging Bull? Oh, it's like King of Comedy and Taxi Driver. You're drawing a huge comparison and then somehow saying that this is new. That already kind of tells you. Then you get Robert De Niro playing a part that actually you can use a still from the Kings of Comedy and put it in this movie. It's almost the exact same Actually, it's pretty much the exact same set. So that's what they were doing. And that will come back in a minute. So then you get to the next kill, which the next kill was his own mother, I believe. Okay. That could be disturbing if you didn't see in the... They actually took this out of the movie. This movie is not actually in the movie, but it's a scene in the trailers where he's giving his mother a bath, which that's still there, but the end result where he starts dumping the water on her face, so basically she can't breathe. Um, Putting that into the trailers and the whole relationship, you knew going into this, oh, his mother's dead. In fact, leading up to this movie, I said his mother's going to die, and this movie is going to end with I was about to say Jonathan, Thomas and Martha. I was about to say Kent again. Thomas and Martha Wayne being shot. And if you guys have seen the movie, you know that's exactly right. So I basically predicted beat for beat what this movie was going to do. And there was no descent. He was just off his meds. Like, he started kind of getting into his own head, which, again, they established at the beginning. He was already insane. Now, going into his condition, he also had a condition so bad that he carried around cards, so when it started making people feel uncomfortable, he handed them the card, which was he laughed uncontrollably in tense situations, which some of the situations were completely and utterly stupid. You see in the trailers that he's trying to make a young boy laugh on the no, it was the monorail. So it was on the train. And the mom, leave my son alone. Well, right after that, he starts laughing uncontrollably because he just felt tense. Okay, that was like, she just told you to leave her kid alone. It's semi-understandable. And if you start getting tense by that, like, wow. Going through this entire movie, I also question why the hell was he let out of the asylum anyway? And that'll go into the end as well. So he starts handing out these cards, and at the beginning of the movie established, oh, we're no longer going to be providing you your medication. So that's what this whole thing starts out as. He's no longer taking his medication, and he was taking like a lot more than really he should have. The amount of pills that he was taking just to feel normal, honestly, nowadays he probably would have just been put back into the asylum, because they apparently increased his dosage at least once or twice, because he actually asked them to increase it again, and she said you already had it increased. And then I feel like the movie tried to make you feel something for him. Oh, his mother was kind of an ass to him because she lied to him. You find out in the movie that, oh, he's the son of Thomas Wayne, so he goes to Wayne Manor. We meet Batman, which is an 8-year-old Bruce Wayne, and the kid actually did good, because you're talking about Bruce Wayne. Now, before he has his parents die, was he fearless? Probably, to a point. So he just walks right up to this idiot with a nose, and then the idiot puts his fingers in the kid's mouth, which, that's disgusting. That is totally utter disgusting. And then we get to meet somebody from the Batman lore, Alfred Pennyworth, and this is the worst version of him. Like, every other Alfred would have probably, well, one, called the cops, but two, beat the shit out of this guy. And he doesn't. So we spring forward to him cornering Thomas Wayne in a bathroom. By the way, I'm not doing anything in order. I'm just going back and forth. In a bathroom where he confronts him. I'm your son. I'm the son of... I can't even remember her name. I don't even care. And he goes, you're an idiot. She's crazy. She has mental issues. and I have a restraining order, and he says all the stuff, and then he realizes this is the guy that was at his home fucking putting his fingers in his kid's mouth, so he punches him. Now this is I did read that in the comics Thomas Wayne wasn't always this saint, but I thought this one was just a complete and utter asshole, and so I didn't like it because it's like you get a criminal, a piece of garbage human being, and then you get Batman, who even as Bruce Wayne tries to help Gotham in so many different ways. Like nobody's helping this place. Um, and again, another reference. Hey, it's Gotham. It's Gotham. It's Gotham. They turned Arkham Asylum into Arkham State Hospital. No real beef there, but every time he goes to the building, I swear they show the entire building so you can see, hey, by the way, this is Arkham State Hospital. I just want to make sure you know we're at Arkham State Mental Hospital, whatever. Either way, they make sure to show the entire sign the whole time. So you know they sat there and shot that scene 15 times because I think it's the same angle and everything. It literally, my camera's stationary. It's like I just leave it there, go put on 5 different shirts and do 5 different videos, which, yes, a lot of YouTubers do that. But this is a feature-length movie. You didn't have to have that establishing shot. You only had to have it once, but I feel like they did it at least 3 times. So now we go into Arthur Fleck. The only thing we ever really found out about him was his uncontrollable laughter. We didn't really know what other mental disorder. I mean, it had to have been a mental disorder to land him in an asylum, which he alludes to. But we never really figured out. So he goes back to the asylum and he finds his mother's paperwork and finds an adoption form. He finds the restraining order against Thomas, or Thomas put towards her, all this kind of stuff. And then you also find out one other piece of information. Now, if you look up what his condition actually comes from or stems from, it's usually abuse and a lot of head trauma. And it literally states that she and her boyfriend would abuse this adopted child and just beat him to hell, which is where his mental block and mental stuff started. During this whole time, she ends up in the hospital. So afterwards, he confronts her and then smothers her. Now, I'm in a bedroom. Doors closed, all that. Hospitals have that too, where the doors are closed. In this, there was no door. There was a curtain. And the curtain wasn't even closed because they used that shot to pull away, showing the curtain that is open in the middle of the hospital, and nobody sees him do that. Nobody hears, no alarm gets triggered or anything when she flatlines. So he completely gets away with it. I guess in the 80s it was different, but I would think in any hospital, if you have someone flatlining, nurses and doctors are ready to go, especially with a patient that is possibly on her deathbed. But whatever, we get over that. So he kills her. Now he kills the 3 people on the subway or on the train, and then after he does that, the Joker becomes this clown, not even the Joker. This clown becomes this fantasy, I guess, for the poor, because he killed 3 wealthy people. So obviously he's a savior of the masses. Like, really? I mean, I guess some people would enjoy the fact that the rich finally got theirs, but just what was it, a month ago, we couldn't even get 1,000 people to storm Area 51. And well, we all knew they weren't going to storm, but they could have all just gathered and had a party. But you couldn't even get 1,000 people to show up. I think like 200 people of the millions that said they were going to go, only like 200 showed up, and not one celebrity at all showed up. So to have an entire city rally behind this clown, which, by the way, in the train, it was the middle of the night. The car that he was in had him, a female, and the three guys. They're picking on the female. He says something to him that this whole movie's like forgettable for the most part. He says something to him, and then she leaves, and they start in on him. He starts doing the uncontrollable laughing. He hands them the card. They don't care. They start beating the shit out of him. He shoots one guy 2 to 3 times in the chest, shoots another guy once, and then he shoots the last one, but doesn't kill him. Then he doesn't hunt him down. He just wants to finish the job so he doesn't get in trouble. So now the two guys are on the train still. This guy gets off the train. He finally guns him down. Now you got 5 shots. After he walks up to him, he offloads 2 more into the guy. 1 to kill him, and then 1 for the hell of it. So now you got 7 shots on a 6-shooter, which that's great. And the whole world rallies around him. Now we go into Zazie Beetz' character, which you see her in the thing. Her story starts off very weird. They're riding in an elevator together, her and her son and him. She is going crazy because she has a kid, so she does. He, with this ultimate delayed reaction, which you actually see in the movie quite a bit, he has a huge delay when he's trying to get anything around. But he does it. She gives him a weird look, but then they start dating. So you see her at the comedy club where he's completely and utterly bombing, but in his head, he's hearing people laugh. You see him and her with his mom on the street, and honestly, in the theater, I was like, this woman's more psycho than him. Which, if you know anything about Joker, would mean usually she's Harley Quinn. But she's not. I don't even know her character's name. She was honestly just there to be there. Another tragic story. We also get to go into his head, which with Zazie Beetz' character, I'll tell you how they end. I believe it's after he kills his mom, he goes back to his thing. He's having a bad day, whatever, or it might be before he kills his mom. He goes into her apartment, sits down on the couch, and he's just like looking at a picture, I think. She comes out of her son's bedroom and goes, "What the hell are you doing in my apartment?" You don't see much of a confrontation except for he turns and looks at her, and then cut to him back in his apartment, and you hear sirens in the background. So obviously he probably killed her, possibly the son, but I'm going to just say it's her because I don't want anybody to kill children. So it's the one death that you just have to kind of understand that it happened. You don't actually ever get a confirmation, but then you start going through his memories and it starts showing, oh, she wasn't there. It was just all in his head, which that's a common thing in the movie because every time he's happy, every time someone's clapping for him, laughing with him, all that, it's always in his head. So now we get to the Robert De Niro scenario. He plays his failed stand-up on his show, which is, of course, this guy's favorite show. And he calls him Joker. He said, this Joker. He wasn't really referring to him as a Joker or saying that was his name. He just, hey, look at this Joker up there. Basically, common, he's the fool. So in the movie, he reaches out, his publicist reaches out, and he gets invited onto the show. Now, before we go to that part, we have one more thing to wrap up. Now, everybody saw that he worked as a clown. You find out in the movie he worked as a clown for this company that sent clowns out to children's hospitals, doing the street sign thing, all that, which, of course, he gets the sign taken away from him. They crack it over his head, and then he gets fined. His boss tells him that it's going to come out of his paycheck. So, of course, let's keep layering on the stupidity of bad luck. Let's try to make everybody feel for this guy. So when he turns, we're like, oh my God. No. That's why you add that stuff, because you want to feel something for somebody and then finally see him crack. In this, there's no build up. There's no, he's going to start killing people. And he doesn't do any of it in a disturbing way. But now let's go to the most disturbing, which still wasn't disturbing. When he was working as a clown before he got fired, this guy, after he got beat up, one of the other clowns says, "Dude, you got to protect yourself." And he shows him a gun. He goes, "Go ahead, take mine. I can get one later." So that's where he gets the gun. While he's at a children's hospital, the gun slides across the floor, and he takes several moments to go, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit," and then runs, grabs it, puts it in there, and goes, "Shh." Now, I know this is set in the 80s, but I'm pretty sure with a room full of nurses, because I counted at least 3 was in the room, not to mention possibly 1 or 2 behind the camera, if it was a real hospital. Seeing a gun slide across the floor, he would have been arrested for that. Not just fired. He would have been arrested. One of the nurses would have snuck away, called the cops, and they would have been there to take him to jail long before he got out of there. So, his employment finds out about it. They fire him. No shit, right? So he invites that guy over, and the guy comes with this little midget clown. They're not clowned up. But as he was doing that, he had the white face paint on. He was playing around with the paint, trying to figure out who he is, because his mom is long since dead. He knows he's going on the show, and he gets in his head he's going to do the clown thing. So he has the white makeup on, no shirt, as you see several times in the movie that I just don't give a shit about. It's to show that he's sickly and weak, and they allude that he barely even eats. That will come into play later when I'm bitching. So the guy comes in, they're talking, and then he stabs the guy in the neck like 4 or 5 times, killing him. The midget just leans up against, going, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that?" And then as he sits next to the dead body, he goes, "You can go. You're always nice to me." And this is the only funny thing in the entire movie. The midget goes to go out the door, goes to open it, and he put the chain on the door, so the door can't open enough. The midget gets so scared, turns around, looks at him. Now, you can imagine in this midget's mind, he's like, "He did that on purpose. He's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. He's going to kill me." He goes, "Can I get some help?" Arthur, looking away, looks over and goes, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, man." Gets up, unlatches it, opens up, pretty much says, "Have a good day," and lets the midget go. So that was the only funny part, when the midget's trying to open the door, because it's midget problems, right? By the way, if you can't find some hilarity in that, I don't give a shit. I thought it was funny. The one thing. So then we get to the dancing motif, which you actually see in the poster, you see it in the trailers. I think they showed every time he danced in the trailer itself. And people are like, "Oh, that's disturbing." Did you not watch it? Do you not understand what he's doing or why he's doing that? The man, besides more mental issues, he suffers from anxiety. How do people cope with anxiety if they can't take pills? They do something to calm themselves down. So every time he dances, except for like once in his apartment, actually, except for the times in his apartment, he dances there just for the hell of it. But he uses that as a method to calm himself down. So that's not really disturbing. Or are you disturbed because he's skinny as fuck? Christian Bale in The Machinist was more skinny. So that was more psychotic. So the whole dancing thing, I'm like, I don't get what everybody else sees in it. I'm just like, okay, so he has anxiety. When you have anxiety, you do, and you're not medicated, you do stuff to try to calm yourself down. People have different relaxing techniques. I love to drive my car. And that's not a guy thing. It's just I love doing that. I don't know why. I just when I'm driving, I'm a little less anxious, but it does get bored really fast and kind of lonely, and so it kind of sucks. But he has a coping mechanism. Why is it disturbing? Oh, he's super skinny, and the movements he makes. The movements he makes are of that of like a ballet dancer or a dancer. Either way, he freaking does it as a way to kind of calm down. Nothing disturbing there. I've gone over all but one of the kills that he is singly a part of, which is the last one. Now, leading up to the television show, he is kind of practicing what he would say his entrance, which he's completely and utterly terrible at. That comes into play again. And then as he gives his speech, he has the gun in his hand, he's in his room, and he drops back and pretends like he kills himself, which was a deep fake trying to go, oh, he's just going to kill himself on the show. If anybody believed for a second he was going to kill himself on that show, I got some swampland I'm willing to sell you. Like, seriously, I knew he wasn't going to kill himself. There would be no point. So he gets on the show. He has this freaking mustard and ketchup suit that he puts on. He puts on the makeup, completely dyes his hair like green. I can't even, I don't even have anything close to kind of show you the green that he did, but you see it in the trailers. And that will play again in a minute with one of the theories. He goes there, the host of the show, Robert De Niro's character, Morty or something like that. Again, I'm so forgetful on names because I did not care about one character in this movie, which, again, that leans into the fact what's disturbing. The only character we get enough screen time of is him, which makes sense. It's his movie. But he gets on the show. People are actually clapping. They're making fun of him still. And he's laughing. And then he kind of turns it all around. He finally has this moment of clarity, which you thought he already had. He gets these moments of clarity, and then he just goes right back to, I don't know what's going on. So he admits to being the Joker, or being the clown that killed those three. He has the guy even introduce him as the Joker, which is as Joker, not the. And as he's doing the speech, he says the line, which I still can't remember the line, and it gets said twice. And then, boom, shoots him right there. Robert De Niro gets shot right there, falls back in the chair. Everybody screams and runs off. He's smiling, having a good time, and he fires at least one more shot into it. Now, for once, the logistic thing pans out, and he gets arrested. Now, 1980s, back of the car, hands handcuffed behind him. As he's going, he's seeing everybody cheer him on. He's smiling, having a good time. And then out of nowhere, this big old fucking truck plows right into the car. Now, remember, he is not seatbelted whatsoever. So this would hurt the shit out of him. I had a wreck in February, and I did not have as much damage to my car, but I was hit on the driver's side, the side that I was on. He gets hit on the side he's on. My seatbelt, I was semi-fine. I have different things, but it doesn't matter. I have minor injuries. Now, seeing the accident there, knowing my accident, the insurance adjusters and all that, whoever I showed the pictures of the accident, where, like, the damage and all that, they looked at me and go, every single one of them. I heard it way too often, and it irked me every time. They said, wait, you got out of the car under your own power? Now that does, I will say this, another thing in a minute. Which, by the way, if you're in insurance or anything like that, you see a picture and you kind of look at them and go, how did you get out under your own power? You're basically telling the guy, dude, you should be severely hurt or dead. Which, by the way, a car crash can't kill me. Come on. Now, he did not get out under his own power. His minions, this citywide thing, pull him out of the car. I don't even remember them unlocking his handcuffs, but of course, his hands are undone. He gets on the car and does his dance again while everybody's cheering him on. Do you remember what happens every time people are cheering him on? As he's doing that, you see one of the guys in the clown mask go following this family down an alley where instead of robbing them like every version, he just shoots them. And he says the line that Joker said to the talk show host. And then, out of nowhere, he gets arrested again off screen. Now, thousands of people around him, and he still gets arrested. So the entire population allowed him to get arrested again after just saving his ass from being arrested. So now he's back in the asylum where, lo and behold, almost identical offices, and yet the lady changed. And as he's sitting there, he starts kind of laughing a little bit, and she goes, "What's so funny?" And he's like, "I just thought of a joke." She goes, "Tell me." And he goes, as before he does it, or before he answers, you flash to Martha, Thomas, and Bruce. And then he tells her, "Oh, you wouldn't get it." Okay, so wait, he just had a memory of something that he didn't do? Something that he was not a part of? Something he was nowhere near? That makes no sense. I'll get in that within my theory in a minute. But then really look at the scene. His hair is back to being completely brown. Wash in, wash out, or permanent dye, doesn't matter. Your hair is not going to be completely brown after that much dye went in so that you had a bright green hair. It's not going to wash out. So that's how the movie ends, except for one little bonus scene where after he does that, pans to the hallway, you see him walking out of the office, and every time he steps, there's a bloody footprint. So that's the end of the movie. It was not what I wanted. Like I said, I love the Joker. I wanted the Warrior of Chaos. I wanted the crime boss. I wanted something similar to what the Joker should be. Now you got, oh, they're thinking about making a sequel. No shit, it made money. I hope they don't, because it's just so stupid. Especially because everybody wants the sequel to be Joker versus Batman. By the way, Heath Ledger's Joker, what did he say? We're destined to do this forever, you and I. Here's the problem with that, and you can argue with me all you want. I've looked up the approximate age that Batman, when he first puts on the cowl. It ranges from, majority of the time, he's 30 years old, and then quite a few times he's in his origin stories, he's been 25. Batman is 8 years old in this. And people go, "Oh, no, man, that child actor was 10. It doesn't matter. Batman's parents always die when he's 8 years old. Always. Why would they add 2 additional years? For what reason? This is a one-off movie. There's no reason to change that. Robert Pattinson's, I think he's just over 30, like a year or two. So now you go from an 8-year-old boy to 30. That is 22 years. Even if you're saying he's 10, that's 20 years that pass. Joaquin Phoenix is about 45, and in this movie he looks even older. You're gonna get a Batman that's going to fight a 60-some-year-old Joker? Not gonna happen. Then what's the requisites? I did not say that right. But what are they for Joker to take on, or any criminal to take on Batman? The greatest detective, basically the peak of human perfection. And that's because he's trained his mind and body to be the peak of what he is. So to face this person who's very intelligent, you either have to be very intellectual, so you have to match wits with Batman. Maybe he still has more, but you're making it harder for him. Or you go with like Killer Croc. He has strength. This Joker had neither. He was not shown to be intelligent, and he looked on the brink of death. So there's no way he's battling Batman. Now everybody continues to say, oh, well, Joker doesn't need Batman. Since when? He's a Batman villain for a reason. By the way, in the comics, his first two appearances, he dies at the end of both. Batman kills him, and he keeps coming back. So technically he was not killed, but it was a definitive ending. So, wow. Like, I don't understand what people like about this movie. I was so bored. And then, like I said, Joker needs Batman. Look at all the best movies with Joker in it. Batman is a part of it. Look at the DC animated movies. They are so good. The Dark Knight Returns, part 1 and part 2, shows us what happens when Batman is no longer around. He retired. What happened to Joker? He's in Arkham Asylum. No shit, right? He's completely catatonic. Without Batman, he went completely catatonic. And then by the end of part 1, he sees Batman came out of retirement, and all of a sudden, he gets the smile on his face. And in the cartoon, he said darling. I don't know about in the Frank Miller comic, but in that movie, he says darling. Then the next movie, he's fighting Batman. So yes, Joker needs Batman. He doesn't know what to do with himself without Batman. Go to Batman Under the Red Hood. After Joker escapes from the chair that he was bound in, the bomb's about to go off. Batman was going to save, and Joker goes, no, I've always wanted it this way. You and me going out in a blaze of glory. This is perfect. Showing that he is obsessed with Batman. That is one of Joker's obsessions, is Batman. So to have him without Batman just sucks. And then, like I said, just the not comic book thing just pisses me off. And then, like I said, they made so many references. Arkham, blah, 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 blah. They showed the 8-year-old doing the Adam West sliding down the pole thing. He didn't automatically become Batman then, but it was still a nice nod. If you look at Joker's makeup, instead of being symmetrical, one side goes straight up, one side goes to the side, not symmetrical. Why is that significant? Because it's a nod to Heath Ledger, which I believe Joaquin Phoenix and him were very good friends. So that was a nod to Ledger. And that's what this movie is. It's just it's like, oh, we're not going to follow the story, but hey, Easter egg. Look at this, look at this, look at this. And you don't need that. Now, was the city done right? Yes. Gotham was done right, if that's what it is. His acting with what he was given, yeah, I fully believed he was this person. I just didn't believe he was Joker. Sorry, I'm spacing out. But this is the problem, and Warner Brothers has done this next part in the past. What I really feel this movie was a script that they were like, we need to up it a little bit because we're not going to make money from this script. So they attached the Joker name and they attached the DC world. Now everybody goes, oh, well, no shit. Because I always say with that, I'm like, why did it have to be a Joker movie? It didn't have to be. The script was not a Joker movie. This script was about a psychotic who's off his meds, and then again, I don't like the word descends either, because he didn't descend into madness. He was just already clinically insane, or clinically with mental issues. So it didn't have to be. Now, why do I say WB has a history of this? There's a franchise series called Mad Max. In Mad Max 1, it's a fine movie, but then the sequel, The Road Warrior, everybody likes. But then there's that third movie, which is called Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Now, if you know the history of that movie, it was brought to Warner Brothers with two scripts, two completely different scripts that had nothing to do with each other. And they combined them into one to make a more dynamic movie. But they still didn't have enough, so they're like, what can we do? Oh, we have this character. Let's put him into that world, because it makes so much sense. With the Thunderdome part, it does make sense. The Children, Lord of Flies one makes no sense whatsoever. But so they took two scripts and added a character. That's what they did here. And the thing of the matter is, yes, it's making great money. Good for it. But if you take away the DC, well, they didn't even use the DC logo in this. But if you take away the fact that it's a DC property, take away the fact that it's the Joker movie, if they would have just done it without all of that, this movie's not making as much money. This didn't have to be. And I did not like it whatsoever. I wanted the Clown Prince of Crime. And I know everybody's probably shouting at me, oh, you liked frickin' Jared Leto, of course. No, I didn't. He was a Joker gang member from Batman Beyond. And I just, as from the actor's standpoint, he just didn't get enough time to shine. He should have been the main villain for Suicide Squad. Now, Heath Ledger is still the best Joker. And it's because he doesn't have a plan. It's because he does it just because he wants to. He wants to give Gotham a better criminal so that they can actually face the Batman, and that's his obsession with the Batman. And in that movie, he was shown to be highly intelligent with plans upon plans upon plans upon plans that seemed crazy. But he also says, I can't battle you. So it makes more sense. That was a better portrayal of Joker. And hell, that movie was about the Joker more than anything else. It was about Joker, not necessarily Batman. People watched it for him, didn't really watch it for Christian Bale, even though we all at the time loved that Batman portrayal. But he was just so much better. He embraced the character. When you see Jack Nicholson, you see the character. When you see Heath Ledger, you see the Joker. Jared Leto, you see that he could be the Joker. They messed up quite a bit for him, but he would be part at least of the Joker gang from Batman Beyond. This guy did not look like the Joker because he has green hair and clown makeup. Pull up any clown. Are they all Jokers? No, they're clowns. That's what he is. He's a clown, not the Joker. And again, this Joker's never going to face Batman, so get over it. I hope this Joker just dies off and goes into the abyss, because I honestly hated that movie so much. And it's one of those movies, if I never watch it again, I'll be fine. So anyway, that was my review. We're at 50 minutes now, so I will be doing more videos. I'm not always going to be hating on stuff, but I'm going to be doing videos kind of showing off my collections, which, as you can see, I have movies, I have artwork, I also have pop vinyls, all this different kind of stuff. So those are going to be pre-recorded though, so I'm going to be doing those. I may do a show once in a while at this time, which right now it's 1:30 in the morning, because I live on the East Coast. So I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment below if you would like, because I had a little bit of trouble, and now I wanting to start my own franchise. So I have a GoFundMe page. If you would like, you can donate. Every dollar counts. So if you could help me out, that would be great. Um, for me, my friends, and my family, because I want to take care of all of them. Um, what else did I put in there? Um, I also have my Amazon wish list. So if you would like to help me with my collection, that would be very much appreciated. Um, anyway, this is the end because I'm really spacing out right now. So I will see you next time. See you later.